Hello folks, welcome back to Merrill Math. I'm Mr. Merrill, and today we're going to be graphing equations. This is one of those tasks that seems to be a lot more intimidating than it ends up being. Graphing equations is pretty straightforward, so we're going to talk about the steps required to go and do that. The first step we need something to graph. So here we've got our first example. Y equals 3x plus 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some substitutions, and then we're going to solve for some values here. So this is going to give us a bunch of different outputs. So the first step is we need to find some inputs. So you'll notice that I've already got stuff written there, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. That's kind of just basic points to choose. You can choose whatever points you want, but this set of 5 points is pretty simple and pretty easy to remember, and it gives you values where you can figure out what your graph is doing pretty quickly. So I recommend using those points. You don't have to. So the only thing that we're doing is picking numbers here and then calculating and finding numbers for that. So that's what this is for. So the 3, this is an x value, so 3 times -2 is going to give us -6. So let's say plus 2, that gives us a -4. So if x is -2, then y is -4. So x is -1, that gives us -3, plus 2, that gives us a -1. If x is 0, this whole thing is 0. Add 2, that gives us 2. 0 plus 2 is 2. If we have 1, 3 times 1, that's going to be 3, plus 2, that's going to be 5. Now, something you might notice here as I'm writing these numbers is there's a pattern, and you should notice that. So that's a good thing to notice. So from here to here, I added 3. From here to here, add 3. From here to here, add 3. From here to here, we're going to add 3 and get 8. So we can use the pattern once we have it to fill out the rest of the points if we need to. If you don't trust me, well, 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. So that gives us the value. Now, the fact that we were adding 3 isn't a coincidence. This 3 is what defines what number we're going to be adding over and over again. So that's what we get. Now that we have a set of coordinate pairs, what we have to do is, well, what this assignment said. We're going to graph these. So we've got y equals 3x plus 2. We have some values here. So the point -2, -4. So we're going to go on our x-axis. That's the horizontal one. Y is the vertical axis. So on our horizontal axis, we're going to go -2, that's to the left, 1, 2, and then down 4, that is the negative direction, 2, 3, 4, so we have that point. The next point is -1, -1, so we go -1 and down 1. Then we had the point 0, 2, so we don't move left or right, we're just going to go up 2 and make a point. Let's see, 1, 5, so we're going to go over 1, up 5, 3, 4, 5. Then we've got 2 and 8. So we're going to go over 2 and then up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just like that. And what we should get is a line, because this is a linear equation. And all of those points can be connected. So that is our graph for the equation. We've got a few more examples here that we're going to go through just to kind of get the hang of things. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. So we've got y equals -x. So again, I picked the points -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. You don't have to pick those. Y equals -x. So what that means is our y value is going to be the opposite of our x value. So this gives us a +2, a +1. 0 is its own opposite, a -1, and a -2. Now we can go back to our graph and plot some points here. So we have the point -2, +2. So let me get lined up here. Whoops, let's switch pens here. So -2, +2, 1, 2, 1, 2. -1, 1. So -1, +1. 0 is its own opposite. We had 1, -1, 1, -1, and then we had 2, -2. So again, not surprisingly, oops, let's get up in there. These points all make a line. It is a linear equation. I keep hitting the microphone today. Okay, so that is that one. Let's see here. We've got a couple more examples. So for this one, we've got 1/2 x plus 2. Now notice the points that I picked wasn't -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. If you have a fraction here, it's not necessary, but it's easy. It makes life simpler if you pick multiples of your denominator. So I just multiplied each of the numbers that I would have picked by 2, and that gave me this set of numbers. And that will become clearer if you try this yourself and you end up with something like 3/5 or 2/3 or something like that. You just end up with really weird points. You can graph those, but again, if you're not on the graph lines, it makes it a little bit tougher. Okay, so 1/2 times -4 is going to be a -2. Add 2, that gives us 0. Half of -2 is -1 plus 2. That's going to be 1. 1/2 of 0 is 0 plus 2 is 2. Now we might see a pattern here right away. 0, 1, 2. We're expecting the next one to be 3. Hopefully it is. So half of 2 is 1 plus 2. That gives us 3. And we're expecting the next one to be 4. Half of 4 is 2 plus 2. That gives us 4. So our pattern ended up being right. So we got to graph these points now. So the first one is -4, 0. So that's going to be our x-axis is the horizontal one, remember. Y is vertical. Left is negative and down is negative when we're graphing these. We don't have any negative y values. We're just going to be doing the positive ones. Let's see here. So -4, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I don't go up or down. -2, 1. -2, 1. 0, 2. 1, 2. 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. And 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And these points all ended up forming a line, just like the others, and just like we expect. So we have a line there. Let's look at the last example. This one's pretty straightforward. Okay, so y equals -1. So if I have inputs, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, the output, notice there's nothing happening with the x. So y is -1 means y is -1. It doesn't matter what x is, y is -1. It's just telling you what it is. So how do we graph that? It seems like such a peculiar thing. It's actually a lot easier than you'd think. Let me find a good spot here. Okay, so -2, -1, -1, -1, 0, -1, 1, -1, because y is -1. So we see this pattern develop. All of the y values are -1s. This gives us a horizontal line. So if you have y equals some number, that's going to give you a horizontal line at that number. Okay, so that is all I have for graphing equations. If you have any questions, comments, points of clarification, you can leave those in the comments below. If this video helped you out at all, please leave a like. If you would like to see more of these, please subscribe. Otherwise, I missed. Thanks for watching.